Luka Doncic took a huge step last year, and with him literally being 21 years old, we can all expect him to get even better. So does that mean that the top teams in the West should be afraid of the Mavs? I'm gonna be honest, I think so. So before I get into this video, I want to ask you guys to subscribe. The support really means a lot, and watch out for our 2021 NBA mock draft video coming out in the very near future. We were all massively entertained seeing Luka give the Clippers a run for their money last year. He was just the underdog that nobody was rooting against. And I say underdog because the Mavs were only able to secure the 7th seed. I shouldn't say only because, well, they didn't even make the playoffs the year prior, but we all knew that this was a solid team when healthy. And that's the thing, when you look at how last season went for the Mavs and how many injuries they had, one could look at this year's team as one with massive potential. If they stay healthy, they could be a top 4 team in the West. And let me go into the evidence. The 2019 to 2020 Mavs actually had the highest offensive rating of all time. Yeah, that's right, they scored more points per 100 possessions than the 73-win Warriors, the 7 seconds or less Suns, and the 96 Bulls. This is even more impressive when you look at what happened to their players. The Mavs start 16-6, and Luka is a dark horse in the way too early MVP conversation. But then, he injures his ankle in the middle of December, and then later that month, KP injures his foot. So the two stars are playing who's healthy hot potato for about 2 months. Then, in late January, Dwight Powell, who actually played a pretty hefty role in this team, people forget, ruptures his Achilles. Some other minor injuries happen here and there, but a month later, the Mavs fall to 31-21, coming into most games with some different version of the team than the week prior. By the time that March rolls around, the whole season gets put on pause due to the pandemic. The team has the ability to heal up outside of Powell, and they play well in their bubble games and stay relatively healthy, up until KP's made-of-glass knees start to act up again. With that, the Mavs' dreams of beating the Clippers were over. So now that we've gone over the sob story that is last season's Mavericks team, let's go over the facts of today's team. Kristaps is expected to return in January, Dwight Powell is back, and they traded Seth Curry for Josh Richardson. Listen, I know it was hard to see Curry go. I've been a fan of him since he was at Duke, and he has some serious upside. But the Mavs needed Richardson and his defensive skill set more. All in all, it was an upgrade. If this squad stays healthy, I think they'll finish better than the Jazz, who, despite all of Dallas's injuries, only had one more win than the Mavericks last year. The Rockets and Thunder dropped off in the offseason and will definitely be out of the equation as top 5 teams in the West. So that leaves Luka and the boys to contend with probably Portland for that 4th spot behind the Lakers, Nuggets, and Clippers, though these teams are all generally interchangeable. The biggest factor in all of this is, of course, how much better Doncic will be going forward. This team will go as far as he takes them, and up until KP comes back in 2021, he will be the main scoring and facilitating option by far. But that's what makes me so confident in the Mavs. Their offensive abilities never dropped off until Luka got hurt, and if he's on the court, they can still score with the best of them. So to sum it up, the flashes of greatness we saw from the Mavs last year should be a good indicator of things to come, if Dallas isn't massively unlucky once again in terms of injuries. If you're any team that isn't the Lakers, facing them in the second round will be a huge challenge. But like I said in my last video, things change over the course of a season, so hopefully the Mavericks can stay healthy and prove all the doubters wrong.